see the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho, ho, ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite
Early as in on time?
holiday.
On
It's
time?
a chance
Early
to
as
start
in
over
only 10
new.
minutes late?
'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but
Basically.
you.
What? What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, we're live. Hello. And the head swivel from George. Because he is show enough. Which you should have done that for Halloween.
Oh, dress up as shown up.
Yeah. You've got the hair, you could pull it off. Just let the rest of your hair kind of just stay where it is, but like right up here by where you'd have normally have bangs, like pull it back for the kind of like the top knot sort of look.
You know that is an idea for a costume I've not actually thought about. Maybe next year.
Hell yeah, show enough. And of course we have our nifty Christmas layout like we normally do each year for Christmas, because it is now officially the second Christmas game. We've been around for a whole 2 years. So that's pretty cool. So we're wrapping up our third season at this point. I suspect the next game will probably be in early 2021, in the beginning part of January. So we'll probably have the season ender sometime around that point. But we need to do XP because it is the first game of the month for everybody. And everybody got their XP spins and whatnot in and whatnot. Get your character? Yeah, I think I got everybody's character sheet except for Todd, and Todd's not here, unfortunately. So that's okay. That just gives him more time then. Alrighty, so is there anybody who would like to roll?
I have a D4.
Missy's all, nope, tap out.
It's a D4, right?
It's a D4 plus 1 plus a D6 plus 1 because it's Missy's birthday this month.
Yay.
So is it a D4 and a D6?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go Amethyst. Okay, that's a 3 on the
Amethyst,
D6.
my favorite.
Oh, Crystal Gem.
Yes.
Yeah, mine too. Okay, so that is a 4 on the D4, a 3 on the D6, plus 1. So 8.
Plus one, plus one.
Oh, so 9.
Yes, it's plus 1 plus 1. Yeah, it's plus 1 for each die.
Plus 1. Now I'm just thinking about Clue. So I think that's 9 then.
It's 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. No. It's plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1.
Such a great movie.
That's great.
And it's interesting, if you see it in the video format, which is the one most people see it in now, you have all the alternate endings. So you get to see, like, but it could have ended like this. But apparently when it released and it made people mad, that it only showed one ending. And depending on where you went, it was a different ending. So people would go back and would talk about the film and be like, well, no, that's not how the movie ended. And that actually kind of made people upset and kind of confused because of how they're like one of the only movies to have ever done that. And then, of course, it became a cult classic when people got over themselves. Such a good movie.
Be cool.
So where we left off was lots of doom and gloom. The council had agreed to Adam's terms. I'm going to kind of gloss over the ritual and whatnot, but you guys went to Lithia Park, enacted a ritual. Pretty simple stuff. It's just you get on one side of a stone with a hole at the very top, and you both put your hands through the stone. The person enacting the ritual and the person making the pledge. And essentially, everybody, unless somebody's saying otherwise, which I don't think anybody has, everybody is making the pledge to honor that agreement. Otherwise, a curse will fall upon them. And Rachel was muted.
I said I believe we all believe in curses now. Has so much bad shit happened to us.
The curse is that Adam will live in the house with us.
No, he likes the ground.
No.
You're safe.
Like, oh no.
Don't worry, you won't share bunks.
Because he would be the worst roommate.
Why? Because he would take your tree?
Well, I mean, there'd be that, but it'd also be like, hey, who left this this brand new vampire in the microwave and didn't clean it up?
He was half drunk. No,
Yeah.
half drunk. He'd been half drunk.
Yeah, pretty much him trying to figure out technology. I'm told I press this. Beep. But you don't put that in there, but it won't open again. And it's, does the whole Gremlins thing in the microwave.
Plus, he seems like the kind who'd like push you down the stairs or use your toothbrush. Like, he's not a fan of personal space, so he'd be really bad.
Well, personal space doesn't necessarily mean using your items. It just means being too close, constantly. Being being prioritized.
No, but like, how would you like to live with your boss?
Not a fan. No.
Especially because he's like picked me up by the neck and picked me up and taken me places. No.
No one wants to live with their boss, especially when they've taken a special interest in you. That's just bad news.
Where's it killed?
But after that ritual, we're assuming at this point it would be later on that night. So this was done first thing in the evening. So you're looking at about 10 o'clock at this point. Later on that night, and it is now left up to you to put the final touches on what you would like to do to make this Vegas operation happen. Given the fact that you have not a whole lot of time to plan this out and to get this done, anything that you do will probably need to be set up there. Keep that in mind. And it'll probably need to be like quick take up, tear down, or put up and tear down if that's something you're going to do, or easily disposable.
Okay, so logistically speaking, how long is this going to take, and how long does it take to get there? How are we getting there? Honestly, I haven't really done much traveling since this. So, I mean, last time I went to Vegas, we took a private plane, but obviously that's not really in the cards right now. I mean, I took the Giovanni's private plane. So how long is the drive?
The drive, I think, is I want to say it was something like 6 hours or a little bit more.
Oh, is that it? Google says 12 hours.
So there you go.
Yeah, it looks like that's what I'm coming up with too.
Okay.
Depends on how fast you travel.
So,
But flying obviously would be better, or would be faster.
obviously, but I wasn't aware that we could take Adam on a plane.
And plus,
So there's the cost.
plus, Sophie, didn't you say last time that you flew in and they were waiting for you? They knew you were in town.
Yes, because I believe because they were watching the Giovanni, and that's who we were meeting with.
Hmm.
So,
So-
I mean, if we flew commercially, I don't know. First of all, that's a little terrifying with Adam.
I don't think Adam would do well on a plane.
Yeah, just in general. So, do we want to take the time to drive?
I think driving would be safest. I mean,
If
Really, I don't think it will be. I don't think anything is going to be safe because, frankly, they could have spies in here as we know it, and they're going to figure out that we're driving this trip. Like, there's a risk no matter what.
I mean,
Yeah, but
safe is one thing, but if we're unable to get Adam on a plane, then I think that's really our only option.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Uh,
more worried about like security cameras catching our faces as we go through an airport.
Hmm. That is a concern. I should also mention that I talked to Colin. Made a little stop at home to talk through some of this. And Colin decided that he's going to come with us. So, if nothing else, we have him for.
Emotional support.
Sophie's emotional support human. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, he is, in fact. No, well, but also increased security and firepower. So if we need uh, assistance during daylight hours, um, volunteer my emotional support human.
I mean, I'm not typically for bringing potential meals, but I think Colin's a pretty good line of defense, and I've seen what he can do, so I'm secure with that. Good to go.
So, aside from getting there, what is our plan for broaching this attack? I know where the Elysium is, but I doubt we could easily just walk in there. I think that would be very suspicious.
When we arrive, if I call or request some sort of meeting at the Elysium, do you think that would sway anyone to arrive?
hmm.
Probably if you were gonna unconditionally surrender.
That makes sense.
I mean, that could be a plan, like play to their vanity. We've come here to pledge our allegiance. I mean, a guy like him would probably want to make a show of it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
What if we suggested that we wanted to discuss? I mean, I guess that would kind of fall in line with that too. Just discuss his recent involvement. But it still looks suspicious to have all of us come in there. And how are we going to? I mean, how do we not have Adam just give away the plan right away? Do we disguise him?
I don't know if we can't fly Adam. I don't imagine that we can provide him with a disguise.
Can't he shapeshift?
Yes, he can. To animals.
Okay, so why don't we bring him along as a
As a dog.
companion animal?
As a dog?
Sure, as a dog. I mean,
Gangrel
not-
Gangrel with Protean have the at certain levels have the ability to shapeshift into animals, plural. If you have Protean and you are not Gangrel, then the only option you have is like Wolf, and then I think a Flight form or something like that. It's like you only get the one or two options.
Remember, he could change because that's how he traveled to get to where one of the meeting spots we were doing at one point. So I think he can change form. So if he can just change form, there really wouldn't be much hiding to him.
Okay.
I mean, just a thought. If we're trying to disguise him, frankly, he would stand out like a sore thumb. So, well, I would have even said if we were going to travel error-wise that we would have him do that. But I don't think he'd do well on a plane period. So, yeah.
On an out-of-character note, I know Todd would likely suggest this if he was here. Henri could always try and obfuscate him.
Hopefully he would be better at that than I am.
An obfuscation?
At being obfuscated.
You thinking about last time?
Although, I mean, it worked out last time, but
That was a really good night.
we probably can't pull it off the same way.
I wish we could bring that guy. I bet he'd be fun.
So then is the plan just to slaughter everyone there? Or what? Like, what are we willing to do?
I mean, we gotta kill him, right? That's the deal.
What happens when we kill the prince? I mean, I'm sure other people will try to defend him, but are they going to just
I doubt they're gonna
stop?
I you know what? I don't know.
I think. I mean,
I don't know what their protocol is.
it could also just be
Actually,
like.
sorry. Rachel's sorry, brain farting.
That's okay.
I don't know if they'll stop, but I know we need to do what needs to get done. So if they won't stop, then I don't think we should either.
Obviously, if it comes down to us or them, I vote us.
Mhm.
But I'd also prefer not to just slaughter everyone.
Jerome, can I make a cam lore roll to see if I know what they would do in the event that a prince is basically slaughtered or killed?
Actually, that's a good idea. I'd like
Yeah.
to roll lore too.
You absolutely can. So intelligence and Camarilla lore.
Okay. Sorry, I pulled my intelligence.
I got nothing.
Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 1, 2, 3. There is 1 10. My intelligence is a 4, so I'm gonna re-roll that 10. There. Okay, so just 3.
Okay. Well,
This-
there's no set protocol for something like that. Whenever there's an absence of a prince and the city wishes to remain Camarilla, which in most cases, that's the most common type of vampire, someone else is going to step up and try and challenge.
Okay.
Which means if there's anybody else who's opportunistic and trying to seize the throne as well, that's going to cause a power vacuum and could quite likely cause a clash.
A clash immediately or a clash down the line?
It would be no different than a company losing its CEO.
Basically, you have people fighting over the power seat.
Yep.
At that point.
So
So
it depends
main
upon the
guy-
dynamic of that city. It
A
could
clash-
be immediately.
An internal clash or a clash with us is what I.
internal.
No, that would be internal.
Okay. Well,
Basically, we'd be throwing a wrench in their whole works. If we killed the main one, we'd see who try to,
Mhm.
or if we claim it.
It's
and
really
we'll
no
only give
different.
it to them as.
No,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Well, my my thought, and this is probably just a crazy thought, is that maybe if we go in there and we're successful with basically taking over the Elysium, would that give us an arm of opportunity to maybe go ahead and work out a partnership versus anything, like basically leave our shit alone. You can have the city back, but don't mess with us. Recognize us as basically your equals, sort of deal. Does that make sense?
It does. Essentially, what you would be doing is taking a trophy from a rich person. If you take, an Elysium, yeah, it's going to sting and it's going to piss them off. But in the grand scheme of things, if the Elysium is just like a protected location, like say for example it was a museum, right? All you're really doing is just taking the glove off and slapping them in the face. You're quite literally provoking, which is one of the reasons why the Sabbat firebomb Elysia. There are vampires that frequent Elysia because they think it offers them, some form of protection, so it makes them easy targets. But at the same time, it's an immediate slap in the face to the Camarilla. It's like, ha ha, psh, throw a Molotov cocktail on it and drive away. To do the damage that you're trying to do, you have to affect them politically.
Plus, like our condition with Ekaterina was she wants us to kill the prince. So like I don't know if there's in order to fulfill that part of the bargain to where she's going to leave Ashland alone, we have to at least do that much. But who knows? Maybe if we get in, smash, and then get out fast before they have time to really realize that they've been hit, maybe they'll be like ants, like just scrambling around trying to find a path. And maybe that confusion will be enough
in many respects, if you look back to old stories, even other movies and whatnot, the same dynamic happens whenever you have a power vacuum in a kingdom, as well as like mafia gang turf. When you take out the head, you haven't taken out the organization, but you probably caused quite a bit of chaos as other people tried to step up and fill that void. Now, if there was somebody super confident or competent and no one else contests them, then that's probably not going to last long. In the case of like when you look at like old Europe and whatnot, when a king or somebody who was supposed to ascend to the throne gets disposed or eliminated or something, that wasn't a quick fix. That was rarely ever a quick fix. That was, like knight stepping up who had some sort of sway. You had other royalty stepping up, trying to lay their fingers on the throne, because that meant, a whole lot. So in many ways, in fact, more so to the Camarilla than other vampire sects, the role of the prince is very much like the king in that sense. Like if the prince goes down for any reason, unless you have somebody who can immediately step up and quell the nerves, you're going to have unrest.
To that point, I wonder how much we want to involve the Giovanni, because they're basically fighting over the city already. And as far as the power structure goes, I'm not sure if this would basically hand them the city or whether the Cam would just rebuild and start that fight anew. But do we want to try to involve the Giovanni at all?
I mean, if we have an opportunity to join forces with the Giovanni and then make some sort of effect that might be longer lasting, then we're just cutting the head off of a snake for it to grow a new one. That might be something to explore.
I do recall that Quan suggested the Giovanni would be happy to assist us as long as they didn't have any backlash. Obviously, their involvement in this sort of thing would have backlash, but again, I don't know if this would lead to them being able to take over the city for real, or if the cam would just regroup.
I mean, if we do
I
enough
mean, I guess
damage,
if we killed enough of them, then that there wasn't the opportunity to rebuild. I suppose that would do the trick. But again,
because if we take out enough of the Hydra heads, that might give the Giovanni time to uh, start making some sweeps on their end while we're getting the heck out of Dodge.
If we reach the Giovanni beforehand, they might be able to tell me how many heads there are and where to strike too.
That information just speaking that aloud, you know that's going to cost you. But that is a very logical assumption from what you guys know, and the fact that Shlomo and Benedict are the rivals in the city. The one would know the pressure points of the other easily.
do we want to make a phone call and let them know what the plan is?
What are the chances that they're tapping our phones?
The
Maybe this might be
Giovanni or Benedict?
the Camarilla.
They're supposed to not be using so much tech, so I don't know how much they would actually be monitoring things necessarily, but that's a good concern.
This might be something, especially if they're. I mean, I don't know much about the Giovanni aside from The Godfather. So my mom showed it to me. It was pretty interesting. But like, they seemed like they might appreciate it more like in person, face to face kind of approach. But I don't know. I don't know how much like Don Corleone these guys are.
I don't know. We might have some internal contacts that we can reach out to give us some sort of feelers on that, but I mean, that really depends on what y'all want to agree with me on.
I'm just concerned about spreading intelligence too far and having it bite us later. Like the more that we tell people about what the plan is, then the more chance that we have of it being foiled before we get there.
So Vegas is 12 hours away
If you drive.
if we drive.
Jerome, can I ask a sort of metagamey-ish question?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your question? What's up?
Okay. So right now I'm sitting at 13 experience points.
Uh-huh.
I need 15 in order to get to Protean level 4.
Okay.
So where I could also do the shape of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be just would I just be the worst player ever? Because like we're probably gonna tackle this in the next month, right in
Mhm.
January.
Right.
Would I be the most like metagamey-ish person if like I spent my time learning, like going up to Adam and asking him to show me the ways of the turning into an animal, so maybe he and I both can do like the stealth mission to sneak into, because like if we roll XP in January, and even if we roll a 1+1, that's still enough
Mhm.
for me to get Protean 4.
Sure.
Like,
No,
would
I'll
I
allow
would
that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
absolutely fine.
So yeah, because I mean, Remus he's a little baby boy. He's a vampire in diapers. So I don't know how much he can really add to the planning. But
Oh,
if
he's Gerber vampire.
I'm surprised you would just approach Adam for that.
I mean,
Sir, I don't want to bunk with him.
I don't. But at this point, it feels like we're chained to him already. So I may as well try to use this opportunity to try to learn more because he's been wanting me to learn more about my background and my clan, and
Yeah.
so
I
uh,
think he's gonna take you under his wing. That might not be a bad start. Yeah.
yeah, and
Good
plus
luck with that.
yeah, plus so I'll also I'm not sure because I'm reading through Shape of the Beast. If you do Shape of the Beast, like does all of your clothing and equipment you're carrying also transform into the animal form too?
Yeah, it's considered that your personal, just your personal item, not like if you're strapped down with like extra stuff and whatnot, but just your personal items. Yes, it's assumed that it goes with you.
Okay, okay. So like my clothes and stuff would go, but like if I
Yeah.
was like holding like a box full of grenades, it wouldn't also transform like, animal
Right. No,
style.
no, no. That you are absolutely correct. Unless
Okay.
you were really dumb and decided to put them inside your body.
So like swallow a grenade.
Right.
A
Okay.
grenade.
Which would
Swallow, maybe.
which would mean that the grenade would still retain the same size. You just don't want to change into something like a bird.
Oh yeah, because then I wouldn't be able to fly with a grenade in my belly.
Right.
Yeah. I saw an anime where
That
a
would
dude
be
picked
just
up a grenade.
bad. All I picture is just Shrek and Fiona singing and that bird
Yep.
hitting that high note. And
Yeah.
that's all I see right now.
Yeah, now, I'm not saying that's a good idea by any means. I'm just saying if you're trying to stretch that thought out, that's about the most logical conclusion, and that's really bad.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like wild shaping in D&D where like all of your equipment goes with you
Mhm.
kind of thing. So
Yeah,
like
it's just your personal effects, like your clothing and whatnot. Yeah,
okay.
that would all go with you. Like a wallet would go with you as well. Little things.
Yeah, but not things like because I was even thinking like that could be a good way for us to smuggle like some like a C4 or like a pipe bomb or something into this place.
Yeah,
If
no.
like Adam and I are going to turn into rats and make our way into the vents. But okay, yeah. No, I'm
Not a
exploring
bad
my
idea.
options.
Well, we could figure out some other way to smuggle some C4 in.
Oh, wait, will we know if this place is like a gas line?
Most buildings have gas lines.
Okay. I wonder if that maybe we could figure out a way to like rig it to explode or something.
Maybe somebody could
That's a bad
obfuscate and
idea.
do that.
I mean, if Adam and I are double dragons turning into animals to sneak into the place
No, that's
and
Altered
make our way
Beast.
to. Oh, okay.
That's what?
That would be Altered Beast at that point. Level up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I need to keep thinking about it as Animorphs,
Yeah.
like the covers of it. I'm a rat now. But yeah, that could be a way to sabotage the building and blow up Elysium while they're in it. At least without having to bring
Guarantee.
any extra explosions with us.
I mean, but what about our atom bomb?
We already made this
Oh, that's
agreement
true.
with him. We can't go back now.
He's.
And
I get the feeling that he's gonna need to see a little action before
Hmm.
he goes. I don't know, back home.
Okay.
So
That's a good point.
also, I think we would prefer to ensure that he's actually dead in person. I don't think Ekaterina would say, "Oh, you blew up the building. Good job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Check."
Okay. I'm still down for Adam and I solid snaking our way into the Elysium.
So now you're turning it into sneaking in cardboard boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do it. Especially because like these guys don't know me and they don't know that Adam is out. So like, me going to Elysium is not gonna it, I'm probably more of a threat if they don't know that I'm there. So if Adam and I are like going in from the back while everyone is going in from the front in order to get them into a spot, and then he and I start hack and slashing our way in, that might give you guys enough buffer time to do something like heavy magic stuff.
Do we have anything that belonged to Gina Neeson?
Unfortunately, no.
Would have been a nice touch.
Question, what was Gina again?
She was Ventru.
Gina was Ventru. She was the child of Vanavar.
Gina was a stink ass bitch.
I will agree with that.
Well, there's that too.
Not a fan.
I gained a power from her, but I can't remember which one it was. 'Cause I killed her, so. Oh, wow. What do Ventures get? Is it...
They get presence, dominate, and fortitude.
Okay, I picked a fortitude. I either picked a presence or fortitude from her, and one from the other. Cool. Okay.
What was the other guy? I can't remember. He was
He
weird, wasn't he?
he was the three. He had the 3 eyes. Oh, I forgot what they're
Salubri.
called. Salubri.
You
I got a
actually
dot up-
diablerized a Salubri anti-tribute.
Yes.
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 I didn't
So I
know
gained
about Salubri back then.
a 3rd eye because of him.
Did you really?
I got dot
For
1 of Valerian.
Well, no, you don't get the.
Oh, that's not the eye.
Yeah,
That's right.
you don't get that. I think until like level 2 or 3
Right.
when you advance on that.
That's right. I forgot they don't do that. Okay. Well, all I have from Gina is what I absorbed from her blood, which just made me physically stronger.
Well, I meant a physical
Yeah, no.
something. I thought that might be a nice touch to
Salt the wound.
yeah.
Oh, and speaking of which, where is this this meeting of minds where you guys are having this discussion? Where are you having this at? Is this at the group haven with no furniture yet, really to speak of? Are you at Colin and Sophie's? Did you guys take us back to an Elysium? Well, I should say the train museum, because nobody's yet designated any other Elysiums.
Sorry.
Do we, have
Wasn't
a,
there.
do we have a place that is like
Well,
definitely
mean,
scry
there's-
proof?
Collins is scry proof.
Well, that's
I
good to know.
We can go back there.
I would
Yeah,
assume we would be having this at Collins since it's scry proof.
Okay.
Going in, right? Not going out.
No, you. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
I
no, no.
don't
Yeah. No, it's
come there.
it's. You would understand this, Rachel, on a I don't want to say metaphysical level. It's basically, it's not like quote unquote scry proof. What it is it's in essence, it has like the Dungeons and Dragons version of Dispel Magic on it.
Okay.
Kind of, for lack of a better term. Basically, it has like a counter magic placed on the house, so it makes it difficult for things like scry and whatnot to pick up. So scry wouldn't immediately find it; you would actually have to beat a difficulty to do so. And conversely,
Well, I meant like
if
me
you weren't,
going out.
yeah,
like
conversely,
failing
if you
out.
weren't Colin, it would make it a little bit more difficult for you to cast your own magics here as well.
Got it. Okay.
Also, you've
No
done it
unknown callers.
before, so. No what?
No unknown callers. No private calls.
Exactly. But you've been able to do it from here before, so you can.
Yeah.
New Haven, who dis?
So it's all back at Colin and Sophie's?
Sure.
Okay. So in the midst of your, conversation, something furry darts past everybody's feet. And then across the couch, just like...
I'm gonna use animalism because I'm pretty sure it's Cuddles, and I'm gonna say meow meow meow. Say what's up.
So he was in the middle of the zoomies. I'm just racing around, the house or whatnot, and he comes to like an abrupt stop when you do that, and his ears kind of perk and look towards look towards Hesperia, because this is the first time anybody's ever spoken to him.
Her.
Hmm?
Her.
I don't believe Cuddles was a girl. Cuddles?
Really?
Yeah. I don't ever recall Cuddles being indicated that
I
Cuddles
guess
was a
I
girl.
assume Cuddles was a girl.
Well, right, yes, because of the name.
I
But then
never. I mean,
just
what I
haven't talked to Cuddles
I don't.
before. Maybe I
I
didn't.
don't care either way, but I was fairly certain Cuddles was a girl.
I mean, they're a cat, right?
Makes it even better.
Yes.
So yeah.
And so
whatever.
he just kind of like looks at Hesperia, and he's just like, "My word, you can speak to me."
I'm just
Oh
gonna
my
look at him.
gosh.
Duh, I'm speaking to you.
Well, you needn't be so rude about it.
You're just
If
as
you had
posh as
if you had the ability, you could have spoken to me sooner.
you're as posh as your mom. You need to remove that stick. And
As far as
This
I'm
cat-
aware, that there is a language barrier between the two of us, and so therefore all I can do is simply make noises to get her attention. You are the first individual of your dead ilk that can speak to me.
dead ilk. That's rude. Unlife is more like it.
Oh, well, pardon me, unlife. I was unaware of the correct terminology.
Do you need like milk or something, or are you out here to get Sophie's attention?
Oh no, just working off a bit of excess energy.
Okay, well, as you were.
Oh, of course,
Sorry
and
for
he
the
does like
interruption.
the little, little shimmy of the butt sort of thing, before he
Ariel will bow
it darts off again.
very deeply, and then
From our perspective, was Hesperia speaking like in English, or was she?
No,
like,
no, absolutely not. No, when you speak with an animal, you are speaking kind of like that animal.
Okay, so it was just meow.
It's just
meow,
they
meow?
happen to understand it at that point.
Okay, I think like
It's a
during
knobby
that
cat.
Yeah. No, I think like during that whole thing, like Remus is probably like eyes darting from person to person, like, guys, I think the Baron's lost it. They're talking to him.
What was that all about?
Oh, give me an intelligence and occult check, Hesperia.
hold on.
Like your cat might be something else.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, oh man, what if the cat is
Like-
some? It's like it's Wormtail from the Harry Potter.
Like nobody, like cats don't usually talk like that. Any animal usually just does it in like short phrases or things. It was a full-on like English proper conversation.
Hold on, sorry. I'm
Sorry.
checking my.
Oh, she's trying to pull out her dice, her
Everything froze.
dice roller, because she still doesn't
The
trust her
dice-
dice.
The dice roller was actually not the issue this time. The PDF did not want to come up. You said intelligence and
Intelligence and occult.
Okay.
I know you got intelligence. I just don't know if you have occult.
5 is the
6 is the target.
So I have 4 successes, but 1 is a 10, and I have a 5 in intelligence.
Nice.
So I re-roll the 10.
You would
Okay.
re-roll, yes.
So another success.
Okay. So you are 100% certain after you've had that conversation, because you're used to just talking to everybody around you, so you just treat it like any other conversation. That was an extraordinarily high level of intelligence from a cat. Like what Rachel said, when you speak to an animal, They, it's when they relay it back to you, your understanding of it is very broken, because they don't, obviously they have an animal's intellect, so they just speak along commonalities of like smell or sight, or like what they comprehend, like, big round thing for a tire, wouldn't be a tire sort of thing. But that was like a full on intellectual,
Philosophical.
just an actual conversation.
It was Benedict Cumberbatch in cat form.
Penguins.
Yeah, penguins.
Pretty much.
Penguins.
So when Sophie says, like, what's all that? I'm having a conversation. Do you mind? Is
Oh.
that okay? I'm just saying you have a pet of exceptional intelligence, and you should probably feed it better.
Did Cuddles give you a request?
No, Cuddles did not. However, he seems like he's very refined, and I'll kick some money into your Amazon subscription fund for some food for this kid, because he's pretty great.
All right. That's I would love to learn how to do that.
If you ever need to learn, I'm happy to teach you. Happy to teach you.
That could be very interesting.
I think Remus is just confused if like they're just like they're like this, like, because I have a friend who's like, oh, my cat is super smart. And it's like Remus is not sure if like they're just joking, or like being like, oh no, we're just cat lovers. This cat is super smart. We should get it special.
I love that after everything Remus has heard, seen, and done so far, that big hang up now is the intelligent cat.
Well, I think it's because for Remus, like, up to this point, animals have always just been animals, and so like the way they're talking about the cat, it's kind of like the way they like normal cat lovers talk about their cats. Like, oh, this cat's so smart,
Right.
They could go to college. Look at them. They only spill half of their food on the floor.
Such a skeptic.
So is Cuddles just running around some more?
Yeah, he just darted around, a little bit.
I'm gonna snap my fingers and turn on that collar with the laser.
Okay.
That collar, just see what happens.
So the with the laser pointer. Oh God! All right. So, he comes to like an abrupt stop as you guys see this beam kind of dance around a little bit. Like just like one would wave around, a laser beam. And Missy, you end up hearing this. Oh, by Jove! There it is again. I will get you now, you red devil. And he like darts off, but it's like in relation to his collar, so it's not like stationary. So it's like he'll lunge at the wall or whatnot and do the scratch at it, but it is going around the other wall and the floor and whatnot as he moves. So he's like he'll chase it around, and then he gets the point and with his paws, like trying to smack at it with each movement as he moves forward.
I'm just on, like, as soon as I hear him say that, I go on Amazon and I'm like looking for bow ties, for cat bow ties.
Get him a little top hat too, man.
Okay.
That's gonna be awesome.
After a minute or two, I'll snap my fingers and turn it off again, because that's just cruel. But
okay, so and at that point he's like hunkered down and he's getting ready. He's like waiting for it to like stay stationary, sort of, and then and Missy, you end up hearing him's like, "I've got you now," and he yells, "Tally ho!" and he launches himself at the couch. And of course, she snaps her fingers, so the red dot is now gone, and he just kind of fluffs into the pillow. And he's like looking around. He's like, "Oh, dash it all!"
I'm just gonna tell him happens to the best of us. Good chap.
I say, you wouldn't happen to know where that little red fiend had gone to? He's not He's not hiding on the ceiling, is he? He's like looking around.
I don't. I have no idea. If I find him, I'll keep an eye out for you. But if I find him, I'll let you know.
Would you be a dear?
Adorable.
Then he just walks over and he like pads at your foot with one of his paws, and he's like, good undead, good undead. And
I'm just gonna raise my
walks off.
eyebrow and okay.
Aren't they supposed to be afraid of us?
Cuddles is Gould, actually.
Wait, you can ghoul a cat?
He came to me that way and then sort of adopted me, so I took it over. It was actually Cuddles belonged to one of Gina Neeson's lackeys. We met while I was staked in the basement.
Who ghouls a cat? Oh, okay.
I mean, I couldn't just leave him there.
No,
Well,
no.
He
Okay.
followed me home, actually, but I mean, once your ghoul is on the blood, it's pretty cruel to try and take him off.
Question, and I don't know if this is in character or out of character, or maybe slightly metagaming. This cat was with Gina Neeson, right? That's where we found her. Okay, she just had a really intelligent conversation with this cat. Maybe this cat actually knows something about Gina Neeson or her lackeys and information. Like, I'm just saying, this sounds so stupid, but maybe it remembers or has intelligence to that. There are smart animals out there. I'm just saying. This sounds so stupid, but it's possible. Like, nobody knows how to respond to that. I love it.
But I think my only confusion is what information do you need about Gina Neeson? I guess
Not
other
about
than
Gina. I mean, maybe he was around when, because Gina might know something. Gina might have been around or known something about, what was going on in the other cities, or maybe about Benedict or any locations or higher people. Who knows? Maybe she talked freely around the cat and didn't realize how maybe intelligent it was. I don't know. People tend to talk freer around animals that maybe they don't suspect or know or can think of or are smart in that regard.
that makes sense.
It's like a fly on the wall. It sounds stupid, I know, but if you just had that kind of conversation with a cat, maybe there's something more there. Just saying.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, it's an interesting idea, but
You can say it's stupid. It's okay.
no, I just trying to think what we could do with that.
I'm just curious as to what else this cat knows or might have gleaned up or, picked up on during their spell with them.
Hesperia, I'm not entirely sure why Cuddles came with me anyway. Since, I mean, we've never conversed, or who specifically Cuddles belonged to.
Yeah, I can
Do you
go
think
on.
about that history at all?
I can chat it up with the kitty.
I mean, it could be interesting.
Sophie, call
Mind
your
if
cat
I-
over.
Do you mind if I join in on that conversation? Because I can speak to animals too.
Oh, can
Oh,
you?
go for it.
Yeah. It's animalism.
It's animalism level 1.
Sophie, can you grab Cuddles real quick? Just for for information's sake.
You can hear him at this point. He's in the kitchen drinking from the water.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Okay, I'll just call the cat. See if he comes in.
Okay. So do you just call for Cuddles, or you do the thing?
Yeah, I'll do the cat thing.
Okay. Okay. So with that, he comes looking around kind of expectantly.
I don't know if he can understand me at all, but I'm just going to tell him Auntie Hesperia wants to talk to you some more.
And I'm gonna mock Sophie, but in cat speak. Auntie Hesperia wants to talk to you some more.
Not going to say anything. I'm just going to laugh.
So
because-
he just kind of tilts his head to one side and he's like, "Dear, I understand the king's English,
I'm just gonna.
but
tell
I am
him,
unaware. Why are we calling you Auntie Hesperia? Are you related to Sophie?"
I mean, essentially, as much as you're related to Sophie.
Oh, my word. That must be why you borrow so many of her clothing.
That is a conversation for another time, Cuddles.
Damaris laughs.
And might I ask, why did you take my couch? I had
It's-
already broken it in, and this new one is quaint.
I broke it in after you, so I don't know that you want to go back to that. Sorry.
I was unaware that your kind marked your territory. How dreadfully uncouth.
I mean, occasionally. I am
Very
still
well.
somewhat human after all.
Yes, I suppose. Well, she made that noise as if there was some sort of treat that was coming. Would you be a dear and fetch one, please? It's a bag in the second drawer.
For sure. Hey, Soph, can you grab me some of Cuddles' treats?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thanks, babe.
I'll go grab some treats.
Okay.
I'll
See,
just
they're on their way.
toss her the bag.
See, they're on their way. Question. We have some things coming up that may tie us up for a little while. And the best result is necessary for your ongoing treat situation. So, who did you happen to belong to prior to moving in with Sophie?
Oh, well, a dreadfully dour individual by the name of Victor Talltree.
What did Victor do?
Well, I believe Victor did, as he described it to Miss Neeson, Native American things. He
I
was
remember
always dabbling in the occult and that sort of thing. I believe he was just sort of downplaying his occultic tutelage.
Fair enough. So, in regards to Gina, what do you remember about her? Any particular persons that she was particularly perhaps concerned about, or any kind of information, anything you may have heard secondhand?
About Miss Neeson?
Yes, or from her.
She gabbed quite a bit about finance and stocks and tradings, and I believe she had some sort of tie to a wily individual by the name of Vanovar out in California somewhere. Admittedly, I tuned some of it out. It was a lot of blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you understand.
Completely. I'm going to go ahead and look over to Damaris. So, do you have any line of questioning for Cuddles?
Did she happen to mention any locations or, I don't know, areas of particular concern or interest?
Well, she was rather concerned. Oh, hold on one moment. So 2 of your undead kind could speak to me, and no one has said a word?
Really, I didn't know you could speak like this.
With this fur and this collar, I am quite educated. Thank you
Well,
very much, ma'am.
So are
I'm
you
gonna-
really a cat?
Are you really human?
No.
You
I
are
meant-
partially human. You did not just spring up from the primordial ooze, did you not?
I meant, why are you so much more intelligent than other of your kind, perhaps I should say? Because normally when I speak to animals, they are not full-on conversations about what we've been talking about. It's bits and pieces and words and associations, but nothing like this. So I was just wondering if you maybe were something else and got turned into an animal at some point.
Yes, I am a Cro-Magnon that was taught to speak like a cat and transformed into one with quite a bit of fluvier.
I can't even
I'm-
tell what you're talking about.
I'm gonna whisper to Damaris. I think that might be sarcasm, but I'm not sure.
Me either. So I'm just clarifying, you've always been a cat. You're not something else that.
Of course, I've always been a cat. I'm certain that at some point Mr. Talltrees performed some of his, and he actually lifts up one paw and crinkles like 2 little digits for air quotes. And as he's meowing, so that's our really weird disconnect. And he says Native American things. But at some point, he came about me, to which he referred to as a familiar.
Okay. Good choice he made.
Oh, well, now you come with the praise. Thank you. You don't smell quite as bad.
Oh, thanks. Neither do you.
Well, of course not. I am well groomed.
Yeah, Sophie does take care of you.
And I have a scented bed, I'll have you know.
Bougie. Anyway, we're just trying to gain information about the people that you basically were around prior to coming to Sophie. So, I was just looking for locations or names that you might have overheard. I mean, you already gave us a couple, but we're just trying to figure out points of interest for where we're going to be going.
And is this the Vegas trip that you're referring to?
Yes.
Then why didn't you just say so? Because I would
Because
have
we
continued.
can't.
I would have continued to speak about, say, Klamath Falls or Ashland. I mean, all of which are conversations that they had amongst one another. If this was relative to Las Vegas and you knew we could converse, why didn't you just say so, madame?
I didn't know you could converse like this. Okay, well then, please, any information you have about what they talked about or where the locations. This is information that we definitely.
I was only privy to one meeting, and Mr. Talltrees had me on his shoulder as Miss Gina spoke to a paranoid individual by the name of Benedict. It was in relation to eggs. I didn't quite catch his name, but I think it's Benedict.
You got it right. That's eggs.
But nevertheless, they had some sort of conversation about, what was it? It was, support in Klamath Falls so that they may move into Ashland for those, but whatever word you use for your undead types, I don't quite remember.
So they talked about gaining support from Klamath Falls to move into Ashland?
No. They started in Klamath Falls. They left from Las Vegas at the behest of presumably whoever this Vannevar individual was, and Mr. Benedict, and they moved to Klamath Falls. Boring.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding in or out of character. So they started in Klamath Falls, or they moved into there, and then their next, I don't even know where that is.
Klamath Falls is a small, boring little mountain town not far from Ashland. They used it as a staging ground, I think is what he indicated, for their time in Ashland.
So they're
Are you
really
relaying
close.
any of this as you speak? We're all just watching and listening.
Yeah.
Being that Damaris is currently speaking to Cuddles, I would assume that Hesperia is kind of relaying the general information to
Okay.
Sophie.
Otherwise, it's just a large Meow Mix commercial at this point that nobody else is understanding.
And I'm just like, Sophie, what's Clement Falls? What's a
Oh.
Clement Falls?
What about
Klamath.
Klamath Falls?
What's a Clement Falls?
Klamath.
Clement
TH.
Falls.
It's Klamath.
Klamath.
Klamath?
Okay, even I got it wrong. Cool.
Yep. Klamath Falls.
Whatever. What's up with the falls?
What in relation to?
Is there some sort
Cam.
of a
In
Cameron
Klamath Falls.
outpost?
You know, I seem to recall when we were fighting the rest of Gina Neeson's people. Remember, some of them got away after the fight, and Kyrene and I and Colin and Lila now fought off the rest of them. We took care of the rest of them, and then Kyrene took them up to Portland for judgment. But when we were tracking them down, they had headed to Klamath Falls. So that's as much as I remember. That's where they were headed after the big fight, where Kyrene summoned them back to meet with us to fight.
Okay.
That's all I remember about Klamath Falls. I've never been there.
Was
And
well,
since
this was a while ago.
Damaris is, yeah, I've been sitting on this particular piece of plot for that long.
Really? I was like, this is a long time ago.
So since Damaris is the one talking to Cuddles at this point, so he kind of paws up at your blouse and he says, "Would you be a dear and treat me, please?"
Oh, me? Oh. She kind of reaches over for the treat bag. Just kind of the hand grab one.
Okay.
And she'll give it to her.
And
to him.
he just, devours it.
So, and she's talking to the rest of y'all while he's eating. Yeah, so they're in Klamath Falls. So they're a lot closer than we thought. And maybe they're still there.
They're there now? Or
I
they were
don't
there
know.
back then?
Well, I'm assuming at least back then, because we haven't talked to him, Cuddles, about this until now. And it's been, what, a year
Pretty much.
at this point? So who knows what they have built up now there after a year? Maybe we should hit that first.
That might not be such a bad idea.
Because they don't know that we know about it now.
Can you scry the place without having a person to hone in on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't need a person. I never need a person. It's like a Google view, just satellite view. I can zoom in, zoom out. You were part of that experience.
Oh, that's right. Well, but we were tracking a specific person, I remember. So I didn't know if you needed that as a jumping off point.
It helps to focus in more on a particular individual or location, but it's not required. Frankly, if I can just see a picture of it on the internet or have a name, I can pretty well tune into it because there's a specific sort of energy that kind of comes with it that gauges if it's right or maybe not, if that makes sense.
Well, I wonder if we could, I mean, I don't know how big a place it is. It might be difficult to
Did
pinpoint.
she's gonna talk to Cuddles for a moment after he's done. For Klamath Falls, did they happen to talk about a particular location inside the city that you remember, or an address, or some sort of particular name in the city?
Yeah, he rattles off an address.
Okay. So, do you happen to know what this address is?
Oh, it's a quaint little home. Roughly 4 bedrooms.
Have you been there?
Of course. I was with the rest of them. Why wouldn't I have been? And he thinks, how alarming. Why would I have been left in Vegas? But no, when we packed up and moved to Ashland, and I discovered Dear Sophie in the basement, and that's all she wrote.
Well, anything else you would like to ask? I mean, I'm not sure what else I can pull at this point.
What if we brought Cuddles with us?
Hmm?
It's not a bad idea.
I mean,
Then where is she wanting to bring me to?
back to Klamath
Vegas.
Falls? Or
No,
Vegas?
to Vegas.
To Vegas.
Oh dear. Would you make sure that she brings my bed? Just terribly disgusting there. It's
Fine
rather
with it.
bright. And all of the rude smells of the desert, just disgusting.
He really appreciates the scent you put on his bed, by the way. And he wants you to bring it with.
Oh, well, I mean, that's easily done.
I think you deserve a little bit more treats. She gives him like 4.
Okay. He's like, oh, well,
Totally independent.
dear me, I need to watch my
Done a good
figure.
job. We'll save some for later. We won't tell.
Pace yourself, Cuddles.
And he tries to speak in midst of, mid snack, but it doesn't quite turn out. It's just like, as he's just like gnawing through the treats.
Okay, well, do we want to check out this Klamath Falls operation before we make more plans about the Vegas operation?
I think we should. However, when I was looking, it looks like it's kind of on the way to Vegas. So maybe we make an all-in-one plan now in case we need to keep this train rolling instead of coming home, because it's about an hour and a half to Klamath Falls and then 12 hours to Vegas. So
we are going to have to find a place in between. Okay, so on our way back, if we make it back, we're going to need to find or arrange some sort of place if we don't make it back before sunrise again.
No, that's understandable.
And I don't mean that we have to necessarily go to Las Vegas, but what I'm saying is we just have to be prepared to need to go to Las Vegas if that's where the trip takes us. without any returns.
Okay. We
Can't
can do
believe that
that.
worked. Can't believe that worked. Talking to a cat.
Feel a little sheepish.
Feel
I-
bad just assuming it was a stupid cat.
I mean,
Now I'm gonna look at every other cat and wonder, can you talk like that too?
For a year.
For a year. Yeah. Sitting on this for a year. So this is literally festered for a year. Lovely.
I wonder what secrets about Sophie and Colin the cat knows.
Gross.
Staring at the edge of the bed.
are you sure you want to know?
Gross. Don't ask that.
No, I was just thinking it'd be like funny stuff.
I'm sure they'll watch like Lifetime movies together. It's ridiculous.
Lifetime movies.
No, all those Hallmark movies with the green sweater and the red dress or jacket.
Oh, all of the Hallmark Christmas movies? Yeah, totally.
They just watch HGTV together. This is boring.
Love that Dean Cain.
I feel like we need to have like a spin-off where like Jimmy and Cuddles are like an elite tag team, like tactics force.
You mean Jimmy from the other night or Jimmy Giovanni?
Wait, wasn't Jimmy the dude that we captured and like?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be something.
I almost do want to go and talk to that guy just so we can like learn. I want to learn a little bit more about this Riker guy.
And Cuddles is the brains of the operation. And he's the muscle.
We've also put up an illusion so that he also has Jimmy's face on, even though he's a cop.
I love it. So great.
Well, what in the hell?
It's just an acid trip, Jimmy.
Somebody asked something and I can't remember.
So then are you done with Cuddles?
So, I guess we want to scry the Klamath Falls address.
I didn't have any more questions for Cuddles.
I don't have any either for the moment. It's not like we can't do it again, but yeah, that's why I gave him the treats because I felt he gave us a lot of information. It was very helpful.
I'm gonna go in the fridge and find some of Colin's human food and offer it to Cuddles.
Okay.
Gotta watch its figure, remember?
So then you just grab like some leftover chicken or something, like shredded chicken that was in there, and I guess you're just offering it up to him, and he just like looks at you and he's like, "Oh, I could positively kill that bull, but the calories. No, woman, take it away, take it away.
But
I
grilled
need
chicken,
not the
it's not that
temptation."
great. I guess.
Probably the
I'll just put it
sauce.
back in the fridge.
It's probably all the sauce that he put on it.
Yeah,
Probably.
this is Sophie's cat.
I mean, he looks at Hesperia putting it away like he made a dreadfully wrong choice in saying that, but but he tries to stand resolved. So if nobody else is saying anything, then he goes and wanders off at that point and finds a spot on the cat tower and all the way at the very top and does 3 turns and then curls up.
Wonder how many socks he's hidden in there.
Can totally ask, but he'll probably lie to me. Anyway, so that was that was fruitful. Okay. I guess I should maybe scry into the falls.
Do you mind if I tag along?
Nope.
Just gonna read your brain.
Do a little pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. Eh,
Now I just really want to like ask Jerome, like, how long really did you plan for that cat as like an informant?
Oh no,
Like, not once.
he's been sitting on that information for like literally over a year.
Well, nobody is
I told
saying,
you
like,
at some points in this game, like the details that I put into it, some of it, it's a long game. Like you don't find out about it until like much later on.
like, who would think about asking a cat? Now I'm gonna ask every freaking animal if they can speak a full conversation with me.
Do you understand me? Duh, it's a human. Nope, not that one.
Maybe the ones that are familiars have a higher intelligence level, and that's why they can do those kinds of conversations.
Actually, with that train of thought, Rachel, you would understand that. Yeah, if you have a familiar, they're specifically a cut above.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That makes a lot more
they
sense now.
typically have like anywhere to average to above human intelligence, above average.
You got a special kitty. It was a familiar, so it's definitely way more intelligent than the rest of
I
them.
wonder if he can read. I mean, I would guess he can.
I don't know.
I mean, if he doesn't know that the laser isn't real.
Don't tell him that or say that out loud.
Well, I'm guessing the
Alcoholics know the alcohol is real. They just have a severe temptation against not drinking it.
that's. I mean, sometimes the instinct just takes over.
Takes
yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, if
But
you've
I'm not-
seen a cat will act normal up until the point you get like one of those damn laser pointers. And then it's just, it does not matter what you're doing around. It's just it like loses all sense of everything else and needs to kill that light.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like a person who like loves alcohol, like not drunk versus like a cat who isn't a familiar. It sort of seems like those aren't too comparable. But I don't know. I've never spoken with a smart cat before.
So you got two. What's that? Yeah, I mean you're seeing her surface thoughts.
Okay.
So Rachel, go ahead.
Okay. So I need to roll. I always forget. I don't know why. It's
It's
intelligence and
Intelligence and occult, and it's difficulty
occult, right.
8 inside the house.
Okay. Hey, nice. 1, 2, and I have a 10. And I do have 4s in those, so I'll re-roll that. 3.
Okay.
What do I see?
So you zoom in on the house. It's at night, obviously. It's a 4-bedroom house, fairly old. Property is a little on the needy side. Probably hasn't had a good watering or cutting the grass in a while, so there's some dry spots of dirt and whatnot. Out front, there is a sign for a realtor, so it's currently for sale.
I'm gonna make a note of the realtor company, or the
Sure.
realtor company, and who their rep is, I guess, or something. Because usually we say contact this person,
Yes.
this realty company, whatever.
Yep, it sure does.
Okay, I'll make a note of the number and whatever it has listed. So the property itself, I'm just gonna kind of scan around it. Does it look like it's been used, or does it look like it's been like just put on the market?
No. It's all empty. You don't see anything on the inside. It's ready to be moved into. It's probably been on the market for a while now.
Is there a basement?
Yeah.
Or a cellar or anything?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of zoom down there.
Nothing in that either. Outside of what you'd normally find in a cellar, like the water heater and whatnot.
Just gonna kind of just speak up a little bit. The house is up for sale. There's nothing there. There's nobody in it, underneath it.
Huh.
But this is the realty company that it's going through.
I'm going to go ahead and try and research that realty company online when she shows me the
Sure.
name.
Yeah, I mean, it pops right up when you Klamath Falls and the company in question. Just a little independent realtor, I should say, in the area.
Does anything seem fishy about it?
Not as far as you can tell. Everything
Um,
looks pretty straightforward. They've got, 4 properties listed right now. Because again, it's a small town. They got 4 properties right now listed, that are up for sale. One of which is the one that she provided the address to. They've got, their picture on the front, and that they are. They also act as like a local life insurer as well.
Find probably when the house was put on the market, I'm assuming. Can you find perhaps actual owner information online? Because I mean that would be public record information, right?
I don't know if you can find. In some cases you can, but those are I believe, tax assessments. I know, for example, if you Google Eric and Missy's house, you'll get that info. But I think it was just the name.
Rude is Googling our house. Can I use my...
Because Eric told me about it at one point or something. I tried it.
Can I use my investigation and technology to find anything further about that home?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I mean, you get the most recent tax assessor, what it was, rated for in that area, prices for homes that were relative to that, some of that stuff, it's posting on Zillow and whatnot.
Okay.
Can you
I'm
see
just
how long it's been on the market?
Yeah, I mean, it's been on the market for a little over a year now. It's changed its listing a couple of times. When you look at a couple of different websites to compare it. If you look at Zillow, for example, it will tell you how many times it's changed, if it's gone up or down or whatnot. And so you see a listing of that. It's progressively gone down. It's been hard to buy up the property in the area. Or I should say not hard, but there hasn't been interest.
I'm just going to point out this information and say, I mean, I'm not sure if we're expecting someone to be there
I mean, not at this point,
on
but
the low, but I do think it's unoccupied.
yeah, I agree. Okay. I guess I'm going to keep looking around. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to figure out if there's any more signs that could indicate. I mean, I think this property is just well and dead. Things I wish I could more percept inside of scrying. I'm just trying to. Sorry, I'm Rachel's taken out of character. I'm trying to figure out what can I link. Who can I search for that might link to a lead to whomever owned this house or who might be a ghoul. I don't know. Maybe I should see if the realtor is in town. Can you look up the realtor's address? Like the actual individual, the independent seller, the contractor, or the whatever.
Sure. So why don't Missy? Why don't you go ahead and give me an intelligence and computer check as you poke around online to try and find the realtor's info.
Sophie, this is a house that you were kept hostage in?
No, I was kept hostage in an office building downtown where the fight took place.
Okay.
I have 4 successes.
Okay. Yeah, it took you a little bit because you had to kind of finagle your way around cross-referencing the name a couple of times, because free searches are a little bit more difficult than actually paying for them for the services. But you get it down with a reasonable certainty of the individual, and they live in the town as well. Just a local realtor.
I'm going to provide this information to the group.
Okay. I'm going to basically kind of zoom into their address.
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to look for clues once I'm inside their house as to maybe they've got a desk or file open. I don't know. See who he might be associated with, maybe out in Portland. I'm basically looking for connections. Like, does he have properties out being sold maybe under the same person, or I don't know. Trying to connect some dots and wires somewhere.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, you focus in on that. That's not hard to find since you have the address at this point. And you look at the guy sitting on a couch currently watching Netflix. His wife,
laptop open,
his wife is in the other room, currently making something. No, he doesn't have a laptop out right now. He's literally binging like Lucifer.
For a second, I thought it was Jimmy. I was like,
Jimmy.
We found you.
I guess I'm just going to kind of zip around his house. I'm going to kind of look around, kind of snoop if I can. Obviously, I can't open anything, but I can look at, I don't know, I guess I'm looking for symbols or something that could indicate.
Go ahead and roll.
Some association. Just intelligence and what, investigation or something?
Yes.
Oops. Printing out this brand new pretty little sheet, and I'm still going back to my old one. Intelligence and investigation. That's not very much. So 5. One.
Should I roll also?
Actually, well, it's a 10. Just 1.
Oh, while you're surfing her memories, sure, go ahead.
I mean, I don't have high rolls there, but we'll see.
What is she doing?
1 success.
Okay.
Intelligence and investigation.
Okay.
So maybe something will stick out to me that didn't stick out to you. I don't know.
Yeah, you poke around. You don't see anything outside of the ordinary. You don't see any symbols that are vampire related. You don't see any references to like names that would link them to vampires that you know about or whatnot.
Right. I think the realtor might be a dead end too.
I think we need to actually look at the property.
I mean, it's empty. There's nothing here. I mean, well, at least at the other property. For here, I mean, I've been zooming around. I mean, you're with me. I'm assuming we're having this mental conversation with Sophie, or is this out loud?
With pictures.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But
essentially, yeah, you could. But I mean, based on what you've looked at and the fact that it's been this long, it's probably a good bet that there's no activity in this town anymore. It wasn't very big to begin with. And if the idea was that it was a staging ground to get to Ashland, then its use is probably done.
I think that this Klamath town is it's a dried up town now. There's no, I can't see any activity here anymore. Like everything is dried up as far as at least vampire wise. Not a big town.
So on to Vegas?
I guess.
are we leaving right now?
I mean, do we even have a plan in place for Vegas yet? Other than the atom bomb? Like what's our plan to get in there and be able to stay in there and hit most of them at once?
I think transportation.
Can you scry for them and see how many people he keeps around him? So we have an idea of maybe, I mean, assuming that he's got Elysium right now, maybe scope out that area, see how many we're looking at. Actually, Jerome, when I was there last, how many people were in the room?
Well, you actually did meet him in Elysia, but it was only like you and the sheriff.
Okay.
I mean,
He basically met you in a room adjacent to it. It wasn't something that he
It was
brought you
private.
out in front. Yeah, we didn't bring you out in front of the whole court.
Okay. Well, that's nice. And we should check out the Riker guy too. If we can get him as well, I think that might be worth our time.
okay, so you want me to search for Riker and for Benedict. I can probably say that one or both of them will probably see me.
Oh,
Or
Did
have someone with them that can see. Scrying is not uncommon among them either. They just have different practitioners of it.
can they still see you from here though?
If they were scrying on me, they could possibly.
Even though it's a counter magic?
If they were, I mean, anything is penetrable under the right circumstances. So it's entirely possible they could be as strong-willed as perhaps myself to get through. Even I have some difficulties getting out of here, but I can still get out of the signal, if you will, or the barrier.
Then would it be better for us to do this once we're in the city or to do it now?
Well,
Well-
I'm wondering if, I'm wondering if they have any way or they're able to track us through perhaps their own scrying method. So I would want to figure out some way, if we're going to be traveling, to basically mask us or keep us off their radar grid, find some sort of camouflage so that they either don't know where we're at or they get pulled in maybe to a different direction, a misdirection. Do you understand what I mean?
Theoretically.
Meaning they believe we're going one direction, but we're going through a different direction or a different route to avoid detection.
I mean, I don't know much about magic, so I don't know how to accomplish that.
I don't think I have any rituals that can
Useful.
mask everybody. Could he perform that same ability or that particular spell on a vehicle? Or does it have to be a stationary location?
No, it has to be a physical item.
Okay.
So
then-
like the
like a
roof of
car.
a vehicle or something, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
that's
we could
another
do that.
question. What are we driving?
We probably need something with full coverage to.
I assumed we were taking Henri's van and we were having his driver drive us.
That can
I
be
believe they're the most prepared.
Can that fit all of us?
The van, absolutely, yeah, because he doesn't have seats in the back.
What about Adam? Is it all of us and Adam?
Yeah, it's like a cargo van. Wouldn't be the most comfortable, but yeah, it could fit everybody.
Do the cam know Henri? Do they know the kind of wheels that he has? Would it be better for us to like rent a van, or buy something different, like a moving truck?
It's not a bad idea.
Actually,
That's a good
think-
idea.
yeah, do a moving truck, just do a U-Haul. That's not uncommon around this area to see going through.
Yeah, just put a Colin and Henri's driver, whose name I'm blanking on.
It's
Robert.
Yeah,
Robert.
Robert, yeah. Have them up front while we're all catching Z's in the back. Won't be comfortable, but
We're
It- it
dead.
help-
Who cares about comfort?
I imagine every time.
Oh, thank you. So we currently have a raid right now with Level Up TV, raiding us with a party of 13. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay, so that covers us as far as getting there undetected for the most part. What are we doing once we get there?
Um,
I mean, we don't know where all of their, because they could have more than one Elysium. It's just whomever is deciding to host it at the time.
that's true.
So ideally, and this would probably be best coming from Sophie, just thinking out loud, you would know that those sorts of things are usually, if they're not organized by like the prince, like, you know, making an announcement, sometimes those can be organized by like an influencer within a particular clan or like a harpy or something like that. Usually some sort of mover or shaker in the city is somebody who kind of puts that forward and says, oh, well, we're going to have this gathering at so-and-so's place. You know, Toreador are usually known for that as our venture, but Toreador are usually known for that because of their salons. So it's like, oh, we're going to put this, you know, think of like the matron, you know, in a neighborhood or something who's always up to making the neighborhood events, you know, or whatnot. Kind of like that. I mean, there's usually that type of person in the vampire community, be it like a primogen or, you know, somebody well respected who kind of puts that together infrequently.
I suggest. I mean, I figured that we would just scry to find the location as soon as we are ready to go, just to find out where they are. But
Well,
again, if we're concerned about them identifying us back, then maybe there's more to be concerned about.
I mean, I think we've got pretty well good coverage under this, you know, what's up here now. So I can definitely scry it over there, but I mean, we have no way of guaranteeing that they're even going to have Elysium on the night that we're going over there. So we need to find out when they're going to have Elysium first before we make a 12-hour trip to a location that's empty.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, George.
No, I was gonna say that if so one of the ways that we could do it is have it be like the the Baron of Ashland is here to uh essentially like pledge
Negotiate.
allegiance to the cam. You know,
I
that's
pledge of
certainly,
You wanna
allegiance
be
to the
bait?
cam.
I mean that's certainly reason for them to want to like gather all of their people to gloat over the look, see, our methods are working
Do you
kind of
think
thing.
they would read into that, however, and just be prepared for something
Treachery.
explosive?
Oh, I'm sure, but
That
I'm
that's
also,
But again, isn't that where Adam comes in?
yeah, I think once we
They're not going to predict him.
We also don't know how many there are going to be there.
Right.
Because easily we could be outnumbered. It's not hard to to do that.
Should we ask for a private audience?
I don't think anything's really going to be private with him.
So really what this is going to come down to, just as an ST speaking to the players, you're going to have to decide on a course of action one way or the other. You're not going to have a whole lot of wiggle room no matter what you do at this point. If you're going to try and go with guile, which is not a bad tactic, you've got to be able to sell it. Sell it enough to get the appropriate people essentially in the room. So you need to kind of just at least know your target audience and sell it. If you're going to go with stealth, then you need to figure out a plan on how you're going to get in and do the deed, you know, and where the individual's at and get enough information to get that going. If you're trying to go politics and involve the, you know, other, you know, like the Anarchs and the Giovanni and whatnot, you're going to need to come up with something along those lines. But again, it has to be something you can do on the fly at this point because you guys are pressed for time. And again, you're going to have to sell it one way or the other. You know, both, at least two of the options you guys are kind of looking at this point is going to require somebody with the capability of kind of talking their butt off and being an influencer, which is a very vampire sort of thing. But it's, how are you going to sell it?
That's definitely not me. I'm not a talker, and I don't even look the part. And you can still
my
see
problem
veins on
too.
me.
Is
So
I mean, you can see veins on me too, but No,
Well,
my problem
not
is
not
that
even worried about that. It's
he didn't believe me the first time.
right. It's essentially, if you're okay, look at it from the standpoint of, so you're trying to throw Hesperia out as bait. The Baron's coming here to surrender. Blah 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 blah. Okay, how do you market that? What are you going to say? Who do you contact? That's what you guys need to narrow down at this point. If that's the angle you're going to go to. If the angle is to go into town and say, okay, well, we're going to figure something else out, but we're going to see if we can get the Giovanni involved. Same thing, but you need to kind of have it in your head. How are you going to sell this to them? What are you going to tell them? You already know they're hesitant about getting directly involved, but you know they are big rivals. How do you sell it? That's what you guys need to narrow down at this point. That way you guys aren't spending a whole lot of time, of coming up with other alternatives and other ideas that, may eat into your time that you're not going to have the capability of doing. Like you have a lot of partial ideas right now, but you want to condense that into one that you guys feel fairly confident in one way or the other.
I like the idea of involving the Giovanni, but at the same time, how are they going to see it as not something that basically a favor? Because they're going to find a way to extract a favor out of it, even though we're the ones doing them the favor.
It's business.
Yeah, but
that was exactly my thought. Is even if
Mhm.
Because Sophie already owes them a boon.
Yeah.
For the Colin thing, and even if we handed them the city and brought them the dragon's head, so to speak, they'd be like, "Oh, what a lovely gift! Thank you so much. We didn't ask you to do that. You're still on the line for a boon."
One sec. Let me let Darby out. Somebody.
Go
ahead and keep conversing.
I've thought about contacting them and at least saying, okay, we need to know where he's going to be. But first of all, Sophie doesn't have a line to them directly, so we'd still have to work with Quan or whomever. And I'm not sure that we have that kind of relationship with them.
Okay.
I'm just not sure how they would respond.
Maybe we should just X the whole Giovanni thing. Let's just take that off the table because you don't want to owe them anything else. I don't want to owe them anything else.
but also they would definitely have the information that we want as far as where to meet and where he's going to be. They would definitely keep tabs of that.
Would the Camarilla be still holding Elysium with everybody sort of going underground, so to speak, like in terms of like dropping off the map? So they would still be holding Elysiums.
Even with your limited knowledge of how things work, George, with your character, you would understand that they would still meet. Vampires are social creatures, with the exception of your sire. Vampires tend to be social creatures. So to completely isolate themselves like that is almost an anathema. You would know enough of other clans, like just on the very basics, like the Toreador and Ventru specifically. They're all about being social. So there's no way in hell that they would completely just isolate themselves. They would find a way to do something together and make a what to do of something.
Okay.
Are any big events coming up? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, okay, I was going to say, what if we contacted our old buddy Jimmy and wait, did he say that Riker contacts him? He doesn't have a way of contacting Riker?
I think he said he can contact.
No, you guys actually watched that convo. Remember, he does have a way of reaching out to him. It was the encrypted text.
Oh, right. Okay, so what if we reached out to Jimmy and told him basically to relay this? George has this great smile on his face. And we told him to relay this information that basically planted this line of gossip that Ashland is giving up and wanted to
Talk
Uh,
in terms of surrender.
yeah, meet in person, and were
Actually, that could.
and was
Oh,
coming to Vegas.
I mean, we could even have it be if we issue it through our best friend Jimmy over to Riker, where they hear that Ashland is about to go vacant. What are the vampires in Las Vegas going to do? They're going to want to meet up to talk about it. And if we're already there, maybe we can have our ear to the ground and we could find out where it's going to be held. Because, like, I mean, I'm assuming that despite if they're going to still be social, uh, they're going to have ways of getting out that information to everybody. Do we
That's
know
right.
who's in the court?
They wouldn't be able to meet up, or they wouldn't be able to disseminate that conversation on the phone. So they would meet up in person
Yeah.
to
And so
disseminate that.
if we're already there
that
when
con-
our best pal Jimmy gives them the information, maybe we can catch it on the wind and uh, catch them on the fly. I mean, that's not really much of a plan, but even if I like the idea of us using us surrendering as bait, but if we do it that way, it means we don't have to put Hesperia onto a spit and hand them over to her or to them.
I mean, that would be preferred.
Well, here's the Hesperia. Here's the other thing out of character. You actually hold status. You're not just the Baron. You're actually fairly well known as a kindred. So you actually being bait would probably draw more attention than just sending it up through the channels like that. Like if that came back and said, "Oh, the Baron," and the Baron being somebody of some repute, that makes it more tantalizing.
If we sent Hesperia in and then the rest of us were obfuscated and just followed you in.
Henri can do that.
Yeah, like we did last time, except this time I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, I mean, I like the obfuscate idea, but there's also again a risk that a lot of people can see through obfuscate.
Well, but by the time they figure that out, we're already in, right?
Maybe unless they have people looking ahead of time.
We could also mix and match that plan with me and Adam coming in as mice going through the vents. So they may catch 4 people at the door, but they're not seeing the homeless guy and then
Right.
the monster in the kilts.
That again, that's not a bad idea to kind of alternate the plan there.
Double diversion.
And if I can get Benedict to see me, I've done this before. I think it was with Gina, as a matter of fact. I basically can do what's called inscribe curse. Basically, I'll write their name in blood on my body to where they can see it, and basically I have the ability to cripple their various mind, body, or other sort of aspects of their person. So I can definitely cripple him. All he has to do is see the inscription, or he doesn't have to be able to read it. Basically, I just put his name on my forehead, chest, or wherever I want to cripple him. So I can do that, and it happens automatically.
That's very cool. I think that's a great tool. After we fight, do we want to just jump back in the van and head out, or find a place to hide for the daytime and then drive away the next night? Or what do you think?
I think if
exit
we
strategy.
if we can maintain the blockage on the moving van in order for us to get out, I think the faster we can get out, it's probably going to be the best. Because if we kill Benedict and we don't manage to get all the other people, and they manage to get somebody real fast to fill the position, there's going to be an immediate hunt for us. So I think we immediately want to be heading back, and
Okay.
probably not directly the same way we came. Probably another like offshoot highway thing, just because they'll be watching the direct route.
So then I like the idea of having 2 day walkers. So whoever drove us there can sleep, and then whoever didn't drive us can drive the second or the return trip.
Robert and Colin, maybe.
So that could probably work. Okay, so back to getting in. So we're thinking a couple of different ways, and then how do you want to play it, Hesperia?
I mean, at this point, I would say let's get close to Vegas first. Let's get close to Nevada, and then I contact Benedict with the official request to pledge our
Negotiate.
fealty. Correct. And from there on, I guess just make myself vulnerable until it's time to pounce. I like the idea of us both working obfuscate and the rodents. So I believe that's going to be our most successful angle at this point, because I don't really see anything else working out.
Obviously we'll bring Colin into the fight with us. What I typically do is pretend that he's my ghoul, because it's presents less questions. People just assume. I mean, he could be obfuscated or not. However we want to work that out. I'm just volunteering him.
I don't know that he
Yeah,
should go
I
into a den
don't
of
even know
vampires.
right now.
I think he should probably be obfuscated. I don't think that he should be presented as part of the surrender.
Okay.
I think he needs to be kind of like our part of our atom bomb.
Okay. Anyone see holes?
I mean, there's always room for something to go wrong, but
I mean, holes that we haven't talked about.
yeah.
Obviously, there are holes everywhere.
I mean, so the plan is to basically put it through the grapevine after we're already in Vegas that the Baron is here to basically talk terms of surrender, and we're all gonna be let inside Elysium under obfuscate, or some of us. Just want to make sure I'm understanding what that plan is.
I believe it is everybody except for those who can take animal form will be obfuscated.
I'm gonna have to go and have a training montage with Adam. Probably set to Welcome to the Jungle.
You sure it's not going to be out like on a beach on a, on like a pole or something, out like near a pier?
Doing crane style.
Yep. You're the best around.
Standing under a waterfall.
I could probably do that crane thing pretty good. I've got good balance.
Do you really want him teaching you the crane technique?
I mean, he could probably teach me how to do crane technique and like turn my foot into like some type of like terrible like animal talon.
I'm just picturing you trying to do the crane technique against Adam at some point, and you do it because you successfully, because you balance really well, but it's like those leg checks you see in MMA, or kickboxing, like the videos where you see the shin connect to the other guy's leg or something, and it just starts to wobble as he comes back because it breaks immediately.
God.
like it wobbles like rubber, and then they're going back like they're trying to stand, regain their stance, and their mind doesn't realize that it's already broken, and so they fall over. I just imagine you doing that to him, and all of a sudden just you hit, and it just goes wah 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 as you fall down and connect to the ground. You're like, that didn't work.
I was imagining like a more like cartoony thing where I do the crane kick on him and actually like scratch his face and he just glares at me, and then it's immediate cut to me running on the beach as he's chasing after me.
Knife handing it the whole way, just oops. Smacking my microphone here. Don't. All right. So anyways. So it sounds like you guys kind of have your idea then.
So we're not telling the Giovanni.
Okay.
Right?
Nope.
And we're not using Jimmy, or are we using Jimmy?
There's
How
the
are we
first
going
kink.
to relay? Are you going to?
If we're gonna present Hesperia like as coming into a meeting, then I think that Hesperia can contact them.
Yeah.
I think the only reason to use Jimmy would be to, like, if we were already in town and he just floats them the idea that the Baron is interested in talking about surrender. They may have like a preparatory meeting, like, okay, they're going to give up. What should we do? Like, how should we approach this? And then that's where we attack them. But if we're going to dangle the tantalizing Hesperia bait in front of them, I think it might be better coming from her.
Also, I think it would be important to emphasize that she is here like tonight. I mean, tonight, so that they don't say, "Oh, come back tomorrow," once we've had a chance to fortify whatever place we're at.
Yeah, give them like as little time to prep as possible.
Right. And as soon as we have a location from them, or if we want to scry first and find out where they are and see what the layout looks like, so we can make a few preparations beforehand. Either way.
Okay. So before we go any further, who here has a humanity above 3?
I do.
Wow.
Barely.
What? Jesus. All right.
So I need everybody to give me a a conscience check.
I hope you lose that humanity.
Unless you want to fail it on purpose. If you just don't care that you are premeditating murder against Prince Benedict, you can go ahead and just lose that roll.
I'll just lose it.
Okay.
I have zero problem with this. I mean,
And you are on path of...
I'm on honorable accord.
Honorable accord, okay.
But this falls in line to me because it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I have one.
I'm gonna roll it just because I don't know. He's not a good dude, right?
Right.
He's a scumbag.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
so
He's directly trying to hurt us.
yeah, I think Remus has no problem killing people that he thinks are terrible people.
Okay.
If this guy was like a pope or something.
So,
he might feel
Sophie, you
differently.
got a 1. You are not okay with this. Deep down, you are not okay with killing Benedict.
Yes, I know I'm not okay with it, but I don't have a choice.
So you are planning to go through with it no matter what. That is your decision, even though you made the humanity check.
Benedict, yes.
Okay.
If we can.
That's all I'm worried about there. Anything else beyond that, because you guys are all like kind of back and forth on anybody else possibly, but Benedict has to die. That is the overall like opinion from everybody. So you lose a humanity as well.
So we're rolling conscience, right?
Conscience, yes.
Okay. I got no joke. I rolled a 5, a 10, and a 10.
So you were like Sophie. You are not okay with this idea of killing him. So the
really?
so you will not go through with the plan. You cannot justify it, short of telling yourself like you just did. He has to die. He's going to bring harm. It's one of those things of like the greater good at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, you actually cannot go through with the plan. You will actively try and find a way to foil it or make sure he doesn't die or something along those lines.
Yeah. No, I think it would make sense for Remus to, this premeditated murder. I mean, he's done it before, but I think also he also knows that this guy is not good news. So
okay. All right. So you also lose a humanity point.
Okay.
That's all it really means.
So
It's a very, very heinous act for people who are on humanity.
Lame.
Come to the dark side.
I'm just giving into my demeanor.
Well, Sophie will look better with paler skin anyways.
Yo.
Those dark veins bring out your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
You guys are a bad
No, thank
influence
you.
on me.
They accent the shadows in her face.
Just what I was going for.
All right. So then the last bit is to decide how you're getting there. So you are going to spend 12 hours in barring traffic and how fast you end up traveling, you're going to go 12 hours in a van or you're going to try and fly.
We're getting the van.
Yeah.
I think it's safest.
If we can get one that doesn't have Oregon plates, that would be preferable.
Okay. That is definitely something you can strive for at the U-Haul. You'll have to have somebody get it during the day, however, which presents a problem.
We got people for that.
You do.
Oh, what about?
So you don't have to actually do it, but the deadline you're on.
Well, we can't go without what's his name anyway? Todd. Oh,
What's that guy? Our friend.
No. Yeah, no, I understand. What I'm saying is if you're trying to get a
you're gonna
U-Haul,
have to do it,
which is fine, but
I'd
you'll
say,
have
like,
to get it during the
Friday.
day, but during the day you should already be traveling, is what I'm saying. If you're going to try and make this deadline that you were given.
Oh, then we can go part of the way in Henri's van and then rent a car and make the transfer some point along the way.
Oh yeah, could we get Trudy to maybe arrange for us to get like a big U-Haul at the next big city that we pass through?
I'm sure somebody could text her and ask her to do that. Sure, she'd be happy to.
Do we want to pull up a map to see what quote unquote big city is between Ashland and Vegas?
I was going to say, if we need transportation, if anybody has connections with Dottie still, she has a pretty legit truck that can take everyone there.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Who's met Dottie? I don't think Sophie's met her.
I don't know if Remus has.
I think the only person that has is Henri.
So your best bet, if you're gonna do that, would be if you're gonna make that transfer, you've got dozens of small towns quite a bit of distance in between them. But Reno is right about middle-ish. Ish. It's still kind of north, but Reno is the closest bigger city for something like that.
I think Reno's kind of perfect
Yeah.
That's
for
fine.
that activity.
Otherwise, it's a lot. You're going to be looking at a lot of open desert, open area, and very small towns.
Reno's fine.
Okay. All right. That is going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out then. Okay.
So go easy on us.
So what we'll do here then is we'll go ahead, since it's almost 10, we'll go ahead and pause here for the last game for the season finale coming up. And so then, obviously it's not going to be this month. Let's take a look. Yeah, because next game is Christmas, 25th. January 8th. Does that sound good for everybody?
Should be good.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Jerome. Will I have time to go to Adam and have him teach me the ways of the Protean 4 to turn into a beast?
uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
You could even try and do it in the van.
It is a long trip.
Yeah.
I mean,
You just have everybody watching our awkward training montage.
And you doing basically the Willow transformation from the movie Willow. Willow, you idiot.
Which is basically just a step above Animorphs. I'm gonna stick with Animorphs as like my
Your visualization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well thank you.
It'll be my first time.
So thank you everybody for playing. Thank you for the raid from Level Up TV. That was super awesome. And Vancouver by Night for stopping by. And for the follows tonight. It was a lot of fun. If you guys have questions, hit me up in the chat. For your characters and whatnot. You guys are definitely going to want to get Todd up to speed on the plan. And keep your fingers crossed. Oh, also, are you taking Cuddles?
yes.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we really need him, but okay. I mean, we did
I
ask
can't think
him,
of any reason why we need him at this point, but if he wants to tag along, sure.
as long as we don't forget his bed.
Well, if
That
you're asking him if he wants to go, no, obviously he does not like Vegas. If you're making him go, then he's going to obey.
That's up to Sophie.
Keep in mind, if we bring him, we'll have to coordinate and make sure that we don't lose him before we have to leave, because we're going to be leaving in a hurry.
That's true. Let's leave him home.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so then with that, we'll go ahead and call it. And we have our next game coming up, I think, on the 14th. We're doing the Changing Breeds. I believe. We'll have to check with Todd on that. And then on the 16th, it should be Mass Effect. It's doing the next Mass Effect game. So, powered by the D&D 5th Ed rules. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and head out. Thank you guys for all watching. And if you guys have any questions, stick around after I end the game and whatnot. So, thank you. Good night, guys. Bye. Oink. End stream.